Okay, so today I think we're gonna try to finish out everything else in articles except for comments. So we're gonna do the find for all articles, the feed. The tricky part here is that we need to take into account the query object, and then I think that's gonna be everything. We're also gonna do favorite and unfavorite. Shouldn't be too difficult. And then we'll do all tags, which should also be pretty simple. All right, let's get started. So let's open up our controller and service, article controller, service, and I'm gonna just add the find all here, and as well as the find feed. All right, so let's just add the stub right now. It's gonna be this dot article repo dot find, and I think that's good enough. We'll just return that as it is, and then the find feed will be just the same. Find, except this is gonna definitely take in our user objects, or actually let's go to the controller really quick and add those in. So find all is going to be a get request at the root, and it'll be if we look at a readme, let's check if it's takes an authentication. Let's see, it's optional because articles need the user. Why do they need the user again? To article. It's for the favorited property. So yeah, we'll add the optional guard. So use guards, new optional auth guard, and this will be an async find all, and we'll take all the articles and do an await this dot article service dot find all, and then what we want to return, if we look into the readme once again, the it should be over here somewhere. The response has a article counts property in it, so we're gonna do articles and then article count, which is just gonna be articles dot length. And similarly, we'll do the feed, which I don't remember what was the endpoint for that. Feed is gonna be under /feed. So we'll add the /feed here. This will need actual guard, so we'll add in the auth guard, and then we'll do find feed, and then the same thing. So pretty simple so far. And now we need to figure out what we want to send in. So we definitely want the user object. So user decorator, user entity, and then we're also going to want the query object. Query, and we'll define that in a little bit. I'm just going to set it as any for now. Find feed is going to be the same. User entity, and we're also going to want a query object, and we need to change this to find feed. All right. So I think what we want to do is let's first define the query object, and I don't think there yeah, there definitely doesn't need to be any validation, so we'll just add it to the article models as an interface. So export interface, and this is going to be find all query. And then we'll have one for find feed query. So what does the README say? So limit and offset is going to be on both of them, limit and offset. And then for the all, we're going to add tag, author, and favorited. And it looks like all of them are strings, so that should be good. So we'll do, what is it? I'm gonna put this up here, actually, because limit and offset is gonna be on both. And it's gonna be optional because a query string could be anything. So we'll do, limit is a number, offset is also a number. Not export, extends find feed query, and this needs tag, which is a string, author, which is a string, what else is there, and favorited is a string. And it looks like it's gonna be by username, so that's good to remember for the next part. Now let's go back to our service, and we're actually so we need to give this user query, and same here, user and query, and let's change this to be the find all query, and this is the find feed query. We'll save this, and then we'll resolve the red squiggly by adding or by fixing the methods in the service. So user is going to be the user entity, and query is going to be the find all query. Same here. Find feed query. And here we're gonna have to construct the find options. All right, I'm gonna start with the feed because it'll be a lot easier. So we're gonna do const find options equals to, and then I'm gonna spread the query here. But before we finish that, if we do look at the README, well, I mean, I could just summarize it. The user's feed is going to be all the articles created by all the users that particular user follows. So we're going to have to do a couple things, and this will have to be an async method because this is where we're going to need to use the user repository here. So I'm going to do const follows is going to be, or actually, I believe the user entity, let me look, follows, this is going to be confusing. So to follow someone, you are a followee. Okay. So that means, okay, got it. And these are not populated, so we're going to actually use the user repo here. So I'm going to do follows equals to this dot user repo dot find one. And this is a simple where of let's do ID equals to user.id. And we also need the relations here. Relations of followee. That makes sense, right? You're the followee. So you're following. Okay, cool. And then that will give us all of the users that you're currently following inside of follows. And this also has to be in await here so that we can wait for the database operation to finish. And then the where in the find option is going to be the array of all the follows. Okay, so I made a mistake here. We don't want the current user. We actually want just the followee property, and we're gonna map it to. I'll do it inside here. So we're gonna map it to array of objects that I'm gonna do follow dot, and we're gonna do author equals to follow dot ID, so that what comes back is all the articles where the author has that same ID, and I believe that should work. And then we'll just add in the find options here. And let's get rid of this extra space. And I think that should do it. Let's test it out in our Postman runner. Drop scheme is true, so that's good. So let's go back to Postman. And this 102 should go up at least by 1, if my logic is correct. So we'll do a retry really quick. And 230 are passing, so I definitely did something right. All articles, the count is, that's, okay, so we're gonna also need to make sure we map all the articles to, to article. So the feed is passing, which is good. And favorited property needs to also exist. So that's simple. So we'll do the find all. Where am I? And let's just do an await here. Wrap all of this into parens so that we could do two article. Whoops. Map dot article to article, where we pass in the user. And now we just need to do the same thing for the find all. So the methodology for find all is going to be a little different. What we're going to do is we're going to have find options, an empty object at first. And the reason for that is because in find all, the query object, all of these are optional, and they actually belong inside the where clause. So the limit and offset are pretty simple. So we'll just do if query dot limit. We'll just do find options dot limit equals to query dot limit. Let's make sure this is any object really quick, and we'll just run through all the. We'll run through a chain of if blocks. So another one for offsets is going to be find options dot offset equals to query dot offset. And let's see, I do know that I want a where object inside of this. And finally, we would just pass in define options here. And then we'll also do the same thing where we map everything to article. So that would be boop map article dot to article of user. Come on. All right, so let's start constructing this where clause. What is inside of this? We have tag, author, and favorited. So favorited and author both use the username, and that's going to be a nested relationship. So in service, for those two, if we do if query.author, we'll add find options.where, and then it's going to be a string because we're going to want to use a dot in it. And it's going to be author dot username, I believe. Right? Username. Yeah. Username is going to be equal to query.author. And similarly for favorited, it's going to be query.favorited. There's going to be find options dot where. Is that what it's called in the entity? Article dot entity. It's called favorited by, and we're lucky that it's eager, so we can do that. Favorited by dot username equals to query dot favorited. So the next thing that we want to do is query the tag. So this is going to be a little new to me because I'm not 100% sure this will work entirely. So tag, and we're going to do find options dot where, and what is this called? It's called the tag list, I believe. Tag list, and it's going to be equal to an operator called like that we're going to bring from typeform. So it comes from typeform. And the string is going to be %, and we're going to interpolate query.tag. And that's because we're storing all the tags as a simple array. So this will query Postgres using a like operator, and it'll treat the entire array as a string, more or less. Let's hope that works, because I'm not 100% sure. But we'll go back to the runner and see what happens. So 230 here, and if all goes well, that should be a lot higher. 238. Sweet. So all these are green. Response contains articles count. Is an integer. So article count is still not going out, which is weird, but everything else seems to be passing correctly. So let's go back to our controller and see why. It's because I misspelled it. Articles count needs an S. All right. That stuff happens. Anyways, what's next? Let's go back to the README. We got list all articles, feed articles. We did the CRUD stuff. And then lastly would be favorite and unfavorite. All right. That's not too difficult. So let's add these paths to the controller. So it's gonna be /slug/favorite, and I'm gonna add it to the very bottom because that makes sense to me. What was it? That was a put, right? Post and delete. Post /slug/favorite, which will need the guard, and this is going to be async favorites article, which is going to need the user, which is a user entity. I think that's good. We're not going to accept a body with that, so this should be fine. Oh, we're also going to want the slug. So that's going to be the param here. Param is slug. And slug is a string. Now let's create the service entries for that. So let's just add it to the bottom. And can I reuse find by slug? Yes, I can. All right. So this is gonna be favorites article, which needs a slug. Okay, so slug first. User entity and const article dot equals await this dot find by slug async, and then we're just gonna do article dot favorited by dot push user, and then await article dot save, and we'll return article to article of user. And then unfavorite is going to be the same thing. Except instead of push, we're going to do article.favorited by filter of users, and it'll be let's just call it fave.id not equals to user.id, and I think that's good. We just need to make sure that our controller does it. I'm gonna switch the order around this so that it can be consistent. So const article equals to await this the article service dot favorite article slug, then user, then return article inside of an envelope, unfavorites slug, user, return article. All right, and back to the runner, and we'll do another retry. 282. So we just have 27 tests left, and that should just be all of the comments and then the tags. Favorite count is greater than 0. Wait, what? Okay, wait. that is because we need to send the updated article. So so instead of returning the same article, the one that's pre-saved, we're gonna do another find, I guess. So you're gonna do await this dot find my slug. What? Oh. Oop. Ah, come on. Do article user. Let's make sure we have the Dart. And await. Alright. And that'll fix that one error. So I did have to fix one mistake on the toArticle method. We're comparing user objects, and JavaScript is kind of finicky about equality. So I had to do a map here. So we're going to compare the ID to an ID, so because string equality does actually make sense. And let's get rid of that. And once you do, your Postman runner should have 310 passing tests. We'll have 38 left to do, which is going to be just the comments. It actually should be more. Let me go back because I was debugging. So if we drop the schema and the register path is also going to pass, we have 26 left, and all of that's going to be comments and then the tags. I'm going to save tags for the next video just because this video is getting a little long. But look at all that green. We're making a lot of progress and we're almost done with this course. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video, and hopefully it'll be the last or the second to last. See ya.